As we continue our NHS Scotland Alliance Live special, I'd like to welcome our next guest, Carolyn McDonald, Scotland's Chief Allied Health Professions Officer. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome and thank you for taking time to join us today. Can I start by asking how you are?
I'm fine, Tommy. I'm looking forward to our conversation. We've done this before for National AHP's Day, but it's really nice to see you again. Delighted to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely, and it's lovely to continue the conversation on from AHP Day. Hey, Carolyn, please can you start by telling us a little bit more about your role in Scottish Government as Chief Allied Health Professions Officer, and what does this mean?
So I came into Scottish Government in January 2020 as the most senior professional advisor for allied health professions. And I provide expert advice to Scottish ministers, to the Director General for Health and Social Care, to the Chief Nursing Officer, Chief Medical Officer, and to the various directorates on all aspects of Scottish Government policy and which impact on AHP education, practice, research, and workforce. I work with senior policy colleagues to set the strategic direction for the allied health professions in Scotland and to agree on programmes of work across Scottish Government which enable progress to be monitored and evaluated to ensure that the AHP contribution to wider policy is maximised. I also provide leadership in Scotland to our 14 different professional groups, and I have very strong links with all of the health boards, with the health and social care partnerships, with our professional bodies, with the academic institutions, and who train our probably 4,000 or so allied health professions of the future. I also work very closely with my other Chief Allied Health Profession colleagues across the UK. So it's a hugely varied job and one that I'm very privileged and humbled to hold, Tommy.
Oh, thank you for that brilliant overview of this massive piece of work that you're overseeing. So thank you for that, Carolyn. So we're here at the NHS Scotland Conference in Aberdeen. Can you tell us a bit about how your colleagues are engaging here during this event?
So it's hugely exciting to be in Aberdeen this time for the conference, since we've had it in the Central Belt for so long, and I'm delighted that I can attend in person myself. So with regard to the allied health profession, some are presenting at sessions, so parallel sessions and spotlight sessions. I myself, with some other AHP colleagues and indeed third sector colleagues, including the Alliance and Leisure Trusts, are leading a session on rehabilitation called Integrated, Innovative and Ambitious Rehabilitation in a Post-COVID Era. So that's what I'll be getting up to. That session's running over both days, so I'll be busy at that. And I'll be busy, attending other sessions myself when time allows. The exhibition at the NHS Scotland Conference is always fantastic, and the Chief Nursing Officers Directorate, of which allied health professions, healthcare science, midwifery and nurses are all part of within Scottish Government, has a stand, as you said, stand 60. And we will be, at that stand to meet and greet and say hello to our colleagues who want to find out what we're doing in government. Our professional bodies also have a stand. So some of our professional bodies will have a stand, and I think Robert Gordon University also has a stand. So I'll be busy. It's a hugely busy 2 days. For the first time ever, there are experience days the day before the conference, so I'm attending one of those. And I'm also going to be visiting Robert Gordon University on the evening of the first day of the conference in the evening. Robert Gordon University trains a whole section of our workforce, and they're putting on a really exciting evening event. And I would encourage delegates from across our professional groups whose future workforce are going to be trained in Robert Gordon University to go along to that. So a very busy and exhausting couple of days ahead, Tommy.
So that's brilliant. As well as having the conference in Aberdeen, you're expanding out to go and visit the universities. That's fantastic. And I'll continue. You're welcome to pop in to stand 60 and say hello to Carolyn and colleagues, if I'm allowed to do that. But yes. Please pop in to stand 60 and have a conversation with Carolyn and colleagues. Carolyn, the pandemic has been pretty challenging to health and social care over the last couple of years. What are the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for the allied health professions workforce?
So I think by our very nature, allied health professions are creative, they're innovative, they're visionary. And you only need to look at some of what they got up to over the pandemic in terms of embracing technology, delivering new models of care, being redeployed into other areas when they couldn't have patients into clinics, etc. So no matter what's thrown in our way, I think allied health professions thrive. So whilst I recognise there are now obstacles in the road in terms of recovery and rejuvenation following the pandemic, I firmly believe that allied health professions will embrace these opportunities that present themselves. The recovery of health and social care services, the impact of COVID and long COVID, the need for rehabilitation, the move towards the National Care Service, all present us with the challenge to put ourselves forward and take leadership in showing just what we can offer across our professional groups. I think one of the challenges that might present itself is the demand for our services and the capacity we have. But I'm leading on an AHP education and workforce review in Scottish Government at the moment. And I think that will go some way in addressing some of the challenges that we have as a workforce in terms of ensuring that our education and the ways that we educate our AHPs, and indeed how many AHPs we need, will be addressed through the AHP Education and Workforce Review. So yeah, challenging, absolutely, but I think the AHPs will definitely embrace that.
Lovely. You know, I have a special place in my heart for AHPs, for a speech and language therapist who came and sat with my mum one evening when we were quite scared and I was unsure what to do. So always a special place in my heart for you and all your colleagues.
Oh, thanks, Tommy. Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you'll be spending your day at the conference?
So I will be presenting at the parallel sessions, but I love going to the sessions myself in the conference. So I'll be going to some of the plenary sessions and also some of the spotlight sessions. There is some lunchtime sessions, which I hope to get into as well. I'll definitely go to the evening session at Robert Gordon University. This is really important for us and for our key stakeholders across Scottish Government, across boards and partnerships who employ allied health professions, and also our professional bodies, to go into the university and see the fantastic facilities they have at Robert Gordon University in terms of what it offers to students who go to that particular academic institution to train. So I'll definitely be going to that. And as I say, I know that the few days will fly in. It's a fantastic opportunity at last for us to go out and meet people in person. So I look forward to that and just connecting and reconnecting with colleagues that I haven't seen for quite some time.
It's a very busy few days for you in Aberdeen. Carolyn, please, what message would you like to give to colleagues listening to this interview and across Scotland?
So I guess firstly, enjoy the conference. If it's your first time going to the conference, I think you really will enjoy it and love connecting with new colleagues, and you'll maybe see some colleagues that you haven't seen for a while. So first of all, enjoy it and do your very best to attend as much as you can, because there's so much crammed into the few days. So I think that would be my first message. I think secondly, Tommy, a huge thank you to all allied health professions, because even in the darkest days of the pandemic, AHPs embraced new challenges. They rallied with each other's and other parts of the workforce, you know, in terms of nursing, in terms of medicine, other partner organisations, to rally with each other for the benefit of the people of Scotland. So a huge thank you. The work of the allied health professions continues to make such a difference to people's lives as we recover into a new phase. I think a shout out to our students, and a huge thank you to students for their understanding and their maturity and their patience over the last couple of years, because they've successfully navigated their way through disrupted education programs. And that's hugely important, to thank the students for that. And hopefully as we recover, their education programs and their placement experiences will recover. So exciting times ahead. Enjoy the conference, and just hugely looking forward to connecting with allied health professions and other colleagues over the coming days.
Well, thank you, Carolyn, for such a brilliant conversation, and thank you for such a lovely message to end on today. So thank you so much for joining us today, Carolyn.